Shalom, shalom. We're going to go ahead and get started with this class. Without further ado, the nations of kings and priests out of Orlando, Florida. First and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Yahwahshi. And we're going to bring out this class today because we're going to give him all the honor and all the glory. We're going to bring out a class about Juneteenth Day, all right? So we're going to read an article. I'm out of brother. We're going to read an article about Joe Biden signing Juneteenth, a national federal holiday. So go ahead and read that. Then we're going to go into the scriptures to show when are we free and when the Most High going to give us our freedom, right? So we're going to, without further ado, let's get straight into it, brother. Go ahead.
How much of this article am I going to read?
Just read a little bit of it. You don't have to read a lot. Just a little bit of what's going on. To give the people an idea. If somebody don't know what Juneteenth is, the brother going to bring it out and read a little bit about it.
All right. This is an article titled Biden Signs Bill into Law Making Juneteenth a National Holiday, which is written by Kate Sullivan and Megan Vasquez on CNN. And it says, President Joe Biden said that signing legislation into law on Thursday establishing June 19 as Juneteenth National Independence Day, a U.S. federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States, will go down as one of the greatest honors of his presidency. I have to say to you, I've only been president for several months, but I think this will go down for me as one of the greatest honors I will have as president, Biden said at the White House during a signing ceremony.
That's it on that. Right, so we got the article right here with Joe Biden saying this is going to go down in history of him making this a national federal holiday. And our people buy into this stuff. You know, we put our trust in man and we don't put our trust in the Lord. You know, because Joe Biden signed these papers because he got all these blacks, they pressure him to sign these papers. Right? But what about black on the crime against these cops that's killing so-called black men? He ain't signing nothing in bills with that. He not signing nothing about our lynching or us being hung, right? But he give you a national holiday to keep you quiet, to keep you hush-hush, to think y'all think slavery is over with, right? So we're going to go to some of these scriptures to show you, according to the Bible, when our Juneteenth day going to be, when we're going to be free from slavery. Because today, we still in slavery. Negroes just too ignorant to understand that, right? So let's go to Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. Let's start with that first. Because we're always putting our trust, our people, we put our trust in the government. We go out and vote. That thing's never going to change until the day you come back into the Lord and keep these commandments. You want to make change? Keep the Sabbath day. You want to make change? Quit eating pork. You want to make change? Rule over your house, right? So read that when you got it, brother.
It's 4:17, right?
Yeah, Lamentations.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Right.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right, we watching for a nation. Joe Biden, this nation, the United States, they cannot save us. They can't save you from slavery. Right? Read on.
Verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets.
Right. They hunt our steps. We can't even go on our own streets. All these siren lights behind you, you don't know if you're going home that day or you're going to be murdered, right? Go ahead, brother.
Our end is near.
Our end is near. Go ahead.
Our days are fulfilled.
Right. So the Bible telling us our days are near. Our days will be fulfilled. But it's not fulfilled on Juneteenth day, right? Read on.
For our end is come.
Our end is come. This captivity, the end of it is coming, right? Go ahead.
Verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven.
Right. Our persecutors, they swifter than the eagles in heaven. That's why they write these things in the book in law, to keep you quiet. Keep you Negroes quiet, right?
I got a good precept.
Go ahead.
Speaking on the, read that verse again, King?
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven.
So the concept, right, is the persecutor is swift like an eagle, right? So I'm going to read the book of Obadiah 1 and 1, and then I'm going to jump to verse 4. This is the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, God concerning Edom. So the subject matter is concerning Edom. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, aka in heaven, this is the persecutor that the Bible is talking about. Subject matter is talking about, and the same thing in the book of Obadiah, talking about the nation of Edom, which we're currently enslaved under right now. But so like Elder, you keep going.
Right. Go back to 19.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven.
Right.
They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Keep on verse 20.
Verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen.
Right. So under the shadows, we living amongst these heathens today. Right. But how did we get amongst these heathens? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's read verse 68 real quick, and then we're going to go to Exodus 21:16.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Right.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord shall bring us into slavery again. Go ahead.
With ships.
With ships. That's how we got over here, right? Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right. We shall see it no more again. Our homeland. Right? Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And when you get off those slave ships, you're going to be sold to your so-called enemies. A lot of y'all don't even know that these people are your enemies. The one that sold you into slavery. The Bible calls them your enemies. Right? Don't run to Matthew 5 where Christ say love your enemy, because you don't know the concept of what that's going into. Read on.
For bondmen,
For slave men,
and bondwomen,
slave women,
and no man shall buy you.
and no man gonna save us out of this so-called Juneteenth. No man gonna save you. Martin Luther King couldn't save you. Malcolm X couldn't save you. Marcus Garvey couldn't save you. Only one person gonna save you on Juneteenth Day is Yahweh. Jump up to verse 64 real quick.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Right, that's what that scripture was going into in Lamentation. We scattered amongst the heathen. Right, go ahead.
From the one end of the earth,
From one end of the earth, go ahead.
even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And that's what we're doing in the land of our captivity. We serving other gods. Christianity, that's another god. Being a Muslim, that's another god. Being a Baptist, that's another god. Buddhism, that's another god. Egyptology, these are different gods that we are serving, right? Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Right, nor our fathers. They never knew all these different religions. Right, jump down to verse 49.
Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Right, the Lord brought a nation to come from one end of the earth, right, to come and get us, right? Go ahead.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
Right, and we just brought that out in Lamentation. As swift as the eagle. We brought that out in Obadiah, the eagle, right? It's talking about the Europeans, America, right? Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Right, we didn't understand the language, right? Go ahead.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
Right, so he didn't show favor to the old or to the young. Right? Jump up to verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters
Our sons and daughters, when we got off those slave ships, go ahead,
shall be given unto another people,
when our sons and daughters sold into another people. Right? Read on.
and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Right? Read on.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there we have no might in our hand. Here in America, we don't have no power in our hand. We don't have no might in our hand. We don't have an army. We don't have a military might, economical might. But we go back and we look at our enemies and we beg them for sovereignty. What for? You need to search this Bible. Come back to the Messiah. You're never going to get no rest and peace in the land of your enemy. Right? Let's jump to verse 48.
Verse 48.
Uh-huh.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine
We
enemies,
serving our enemies. Right? The Bible keep going into these enemies. We serving. Right? Go ahead.
which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right. The Lord sends the enemy against us because we would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord. So we put the curses on us, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. And in these curses, it's not coming up off the Israelites until we keep these commandments. Right? Go ahead.
In hunger,
And hunger, food,
and in thirst,
and water,
and in nakedness,
and clothes. Right?
and in want of all things.
And what?
Want of all things.
We got to serve our enemies in the want of all things. An education, a birth certificate, a death certificate, right? You want to buy a house, you want to buy a car. Whatever you want, you got to go to these people. You want Juneteenth Day, why you going to your enemies? Right? Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron.
And when it say he, it's talking about the so-called white man. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Right? Go ahead.
Upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Till what?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Right. He put yokes of iron upon our neck. Now we destroy it. He can take the yoke of iron off our neck. He can take the shackles off your feet. That's just like a dog. You got a pit bull on a leash. You train him a certain way. And then once you get him trained that way, you can take him off the leash. And that's how America got our people. He got y'all Negroes trained. So now they can take the yoke of iron off your neck. Because now you destroy it. You don't know your nationality. You don't know who's your God. You don't know you're an Israelite. You don't know nothing. So the so-called white man, he can let you run off. Because now you're a destroyed person. But when we try to tell y'all to come back to the Most High and the commandments, y'all look at us like we the hate group. Right? But y'all destroyed. You destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's what the Bible says. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Right? So from there, let's go to Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16. And then we're going to go to the Sirach chapter 12.
Exodus 21 and 16.
Yeah, read that real quick.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 21 verse 16. And he that stealeth a man.
He that stealeth a man. So we're going to get to so-called judgment. Because we know all our people, they want to forgive. We the most forgivingest people on this earth. No matter how much they rape, rob, murder you, pillage your village, put smallpox, right? No matter what these people do, we the most forgiving people, right? So the scripture tells us, who he that stealeth a man, who stole a man? What nation, right? Read on.
He that stealeth a man and selleth him.
And selleth him, go ahead.
Or if he be found in his hand.
Right, because we were stolen, right? Read on.
He shall surely be put to death.
What's going to happen to him?
He shall surely be put to death.
That's the judgment of the Most High. These are not our words. But when we read the Bible, we a hate group. We teach in hate. We read straight out of the Bible. Some of your Christian church won't teach you. Your pastor won't teach you this. He that stealeth a man, he shall be put to death.
I got a precept.
Right? Go ahead with that precept, bro.
So there's another biblical law, right? This is why you have to understand the law to understand the God's judgment. This is Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, right? So not to defile this land, right? For blood it defileth the land, because they shed our blood in this land.
Right.
And the land cannot be cleansed. It cannot be cleansed.
Right.
Of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Right. Right. So the blood of him that shed it, he got to give his own blood. Right? Let's get another precept on that. Go to Habakkuk 2:12 about the shedding of the blood. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to go to Sirach chapter 12:10. Go ahead, brother. Habakkuk 2:12.
This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Right. Woe unto that man. When you see that, look up that word woe, that means destruction to that man or death to that man. Right? Read that from the top.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Destruction to that man that buildeth a town with blood. Who builded this town on a shed of blood? Who built up America? Who brought so-called black and Hispanics over here to build this country up? Woe unto that man. Right? Go ahead.
And establish a city by iniquity.
Right. Establish a city by iniquity. By sin. This place is the most sinful land you can live in. That's why you see all nations over here in the Americas. Because these other nations or nationalities that come over here, they can't do that in their country. Things they do here in America, they can't do in their country. They will be put to death. That's why you see them Arabs, the women, they come over here because they want freedom. They can't have freedom in their land over there. They come over to the great mixing pot over here in Babylon the Great to continue in their iniquity, to continue in sin. Our people love to be in all kind of sin and iniquity, right? Any more on that?
That was it on that verse.
All right, let's jump to verse. Let's go to Sirach chapter 12:10.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10.
Right.
Never trust thine enemies.
Right. We just read who brought us over here into slavery, our enemies. Never trust them. The Bible tells you never trust them. So when they sign this little bill into law and then they get on the news and brag about it and say, I'm going to go down in history because, look, I signed something that's making change. This not making no changes. This is not making no changes. You still being murdered in the street. You still being raped, robbed, and murdered. Our women still coming up missing. Yeah, because he signed a piece of paper, y'all gonna be out here barbecuing. I bet somebody got the barbecue grill lit up right now, talking about happy Juneteenth Day. We free. You're not free. You in the land of your captivity. You here to serve a sentence. To that sentence end, you will still be in the days of your captivity. Right? Read on. Never trust your enemy. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusteth,
right,
so is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. So is his wickedness. Continue on.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself.
Right. And that's what they do. So he humbled himself.
And go crouching.
Uh-huh.
Yet take good heed.
Right. They tell you, the Bible tell you, keep good watch of this man. That because he speaks smooth words and think he's doing some justice for you, you got to watch this devil. You got to watch this man even harder. Right? Read on.
And beware of him.
You got to be what?
Beware of him.
You got to beware of these people, man. Our people somebody give me Maccabees 1 and 11 real quick. We're going to come back to that. We got to beware of these people. Because the Bible tells us back in ancient Israel, we always had people that want to convert and follow these other nations. We always had traders and coons in Israel, just like we got today. Like Steve Harvey a coon, Stephen A. Smith a coon, Charles Barkley. We got a bunch of coons in Israel. Right? Read that real quick, Maccabees 1 and 11.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11.
Yeah.
In those days.
In those days, right?
went there out of Israel wicked men.
Wicked men in Israel. We still got them here today. Jesse Jackson, he a wicked man. Al Sharpton, he a wicked man. David Bland, he a wicked man. We got all kind of Israelites that's wicked as hell, right? Read on.
Who persuaded many.
That did what?
Persuaded many.
That's what they do. They persuaded many. They persuaded many people to take the Jews. Go out and get Jews. Go take the Jews. Y'all know what we mean when we say take the Jews, right? Read.
Saying.
One of them, Tyler Perry. Take the Jews. Right? Go ahead.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Right, and that's what y'all did. Y'all made a covenant with the other nations. Signed us a Juneteenth bill. Signed that a national holiday. They was pressuring Joe Biden to do that. We got all kind of coons in Israel, man. When the day of cooning gonna be over with our people? I seen a lady do it on the internet. She said, we the only people on the earth don't know who our damn enemies are. Everybody else know who their enemies are on that earth. But somehow, how with you black people, y'all don't know who your damn enemy is.
Mind if I bring that out, Elder?
Yeah, bring it out, brother.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and I'm going to start from the top. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult,
Right.
and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Right.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Jump down to verse 6, where we're going to list these enemies. The tabernacles of Edom,
Right.
and the Ishmaelites, and Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon, and Amalek. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lashalah. So these are the enemies that we're referencing, and these are the enemies that are listed in the scriptures as the enemies of the Most High God in Israel.
Right. Right. And our people think we just make this stuff up. We a hate group. We hate people. We don't hate people. We peaceful to all mankind. You don't see us out here shooting nobody. You don't see us out here going into stores or your job doing mass murdering. We read the Bible, something you don't do. Because y'all like to hear smooth words. Y'all like smooth words. Y'all think everything gonna be smoothed over, right? Let me get a precept on that. Let's go to Luke 21 and 24. Because the brother brought out that these nations, that they made a big gathering. They do that. It's like they just had the G7 meeting. They just had the meeting with Vladimir Putin. They make a big gathering, right? To do what? Crafty counsel against you, the hidden one, the so-called Israelite, you so-called black and Hispanics. They don't want to see you rising up. That's why they put GMOs in your food. That's why in your neighborhood, you get the worst food. They get the premium meat, and they take the garbage and give it to you. I think earlier today, I was riding down Orange Blossom Trail over here, Orange Blossom Trail. Man, you got Negroes actually sleeping on the damn concrete on the ground. Our people we are some of the most depressed people on this planet. Wherever you find a ghetto, you're going to find our people there. Because we so used to being in the ghetto. We love it. We love secondhand. When we going to be first class? Right? When y'all going to come to this Bible and realize that you are the greatest people on the planet? But they beat you down and tell you a nigga so much you believe it. Right? Read that in Luke real quick.
You mind if I bring out a quick precept and jump to Luke, just to add some context to it?
Right.
Showing that Esau, Rome, same people. Genesis 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father, right? So we're going to read down the blessing of Esau. Verse 40. And by thy sword thou shalt live. Mm-hmm. So understand that Esau's blessing was the sword, right? So now we're going to jump to Luke 21 and 24. And they, the children of Israel, I'll keep reading another. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Right.
and shall be led away captive into all nations.
So the Bible is telling us we should be led away captive by all nations. All nations had a hand in our slavery, just like we just read in Psalms 83, right? All these nations had a hand in our downfall. The Edomites, the Moabites, the Ishmaelites, Amalek, all of them had a hand in our downfall, right? Read on, bro.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Right, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the so-called fake Jews, Amalek. Read on.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Right, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Somebody give me Ezekiel 35:5. Then we're going to go back. Because we let the Most High, the Spirit, lead and guide us, man. We bring this class out to show our people, man. These people don't have love for us. Right? And the Bible going to tell you that these people don't love you. Right? Read that, brother.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Right. So the Bible says these people got a perpetual hatred against us. They hate your damn guts. They gonna smooth you in with smooth words, with the precept with smooth words are smoother than butter. But war is in his heart. War is in their heart, right? They have a perpetual hatred. Read on.
So let me read it just to add some more context. I'm going to read verse 3 and just come back right now.
Yeah, come read up.
And say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. So the subject matter to what the elder brought out is Mount Seir, so we're not off context. Right. Now I jump back to verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Right, and that's what they doing every day. They shed the blood, the innocent blood of our people. You are the children of Israel. They got a perpetual hatred against you, right? Go ahead.
By the force of the sword.
Right, we just read that. By the force of the sword. By murder, by kill, by bloodshed. Right? Go ahead.
In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right. So let's go back to Sirach chapter 12. Let's go back there.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemies, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yep, keep going.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
And beware of him. When he's coming to you with these smooth words, it's time to beware of this devil. Right? Read on.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass.
Right, like you wipe the looking glass. What do you mean by wipe the looking glass? It's like my glasses, if they get foggy, because that's what they doing. They fogging up your vision. But you got to wipe it off and watch these people, man. This is what the Bible telling you. Wipe off that looking glass and beware of these people. Right? Read on.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Right, because you trusted this man. Now you know this dude is still wicked as hell.
The end of verse 11.
He's still wicked, right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee.
Don't set him by you. Right, go ahead.
Lest when he hath overthrown thee.
Right, because if you get close to this man, he's going to overthrow you. You get close to this man, he will overthrow you, right? Read on.
He stand up in thy place.
Right, because the Native Americans, they got close to this man, right? They welcomed him in with open arms. What happened? They overthrew the Native Americans. Right? Read on.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Right, don't let him be at your right hand. That means don't make him your right hand man. You can't trust this devil, right? Read.
Lest he seek to take thy seat.
Right, unless he want to change places with you. Right? Go ahead.
And thou at the last remember my words.
Right, because if you ask any white person, would they trade places with you and be black? Go and do a survey. Ask your boss or anybody on your job, so-called white man, would you trade places with me? They're gonna tell you hell no. They don't want to lose their white privilege, right? Read on.
And be pricked therewith.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Right, because he will bite you like a serpent. Read.
Or any such as come nigh wild beasts.
Right, go ahead with that precept, brother.
So the way King brother was bringing out a second ago, saying, read it again, verse 11.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
So his rust, right, is hinting to something, right? Iron rust. It just mentioned in verse, 10? It said iron?
Right.
So it's showing iron, right? Now I'm going to read something real quick. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 34. Thou sawest, and then I want you to finish off in verse 12 again when I finish this thing.
Okay.
Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, right? Which smote the image upon his feet, wherein the iron and clay break them into pieces. So it's showing that this iron that is a problem. This iron that rusted is talking about a certain individual that's identified in the Bible as iron. If you study the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, the feet of iron, I'm talking about the Roman Empire, the Edomites, right? So it's a constant hinting towards this iron that they rust, that they will always go back to their wicked nature by default, right? Let me finish reading. Then the iron and the clay and the brass and the silver and the gold was broken to pieces together. So it's showing that at the end, all these nations are going to be broken to pieces, right? Now finish verse 12 again.
This book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words.
At the last. We just read that this is the stone that's getting cut out and destroying everything, right? At the last, at the judgment day. This is when this stone that's getting cut out without hands, at the last. Still talking about the stone, right? The iron, and now it's saying at the last. So it's still showing this iron is a problem at the last days when it's getting crushed by that stone. And again, the iron is a problem at his last. Finish that up.
And be pricked therewith.
So it's just showing who we're talking about when this Bible talks about Esau. It could call him the eagle. It could call him iron. It could call him brass. It could call him a lot of names. But they're hinting towards the same problem. And they're saying, don't trust that iron because it will rust. So you could.
All right, jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
Right. They speak sweetly with their lips. We're going to sign this into the law. He speaks sweetly with his lips and then brag at it and say, this going down in history. I'm going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents ever because I signed this as a national law, a federal law. He's speaking sweetly. Right? Right? Read on.
But in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
Right. In his heart he imagineth how to overthrow you. Right? That's what he's doing. While he's signing that paper on the news smiling, he's trying to figure out a way to overthrow you, really. Right? Stuff like this, when we bring these classes out, we can't put this stuff on YouTube. They'll take it off. As soon as they go on, it'll be off. Because we speaking truth. But then you got all these all this crap stay on there. All the negativity stay on there. And when we try to bring out something positive and warn our people, they take it down. That's why the scripture told y'all that they would take the yoke of iron off your neck till you have been destroyed. Our people are destroyed. We destroyed, right? Read on, brother.
He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
Right, he would not be satisfied with blood. Read on.
Verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first.
Right.
And though he pretend to help thee,
and he pretend to help you, go ahead,
yet shall he undetermine thee,
right.
Undermine thee.
He's trying to undermine you. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 18. He will shake his head and clap his hands, and whisper much, and change his countenance.
And change his countenance. That's what they do. They whisper, they do things in the dark. They don't do wickedness openly. right? So from there, let's go to Micah 2 and 10. Micah 2 and 10, then we're going to go to 2 Maccabees.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
Right. So the Bible says we need to rise up as a nation, right? And depart. What do it mean? Depart from this wickedness of this world, right? Read on.
For this is not your rest.
This is what?
Not your rest.
This is not our rest. Y'all get comfortable over here. Y'all get Americanized over here, just like they did in ancient Egypt. We go to these great empires and we want to stay. We get rest. We think this is our home, right? Read on.
Because it is polluted.
Because this place is what?
Is polluted.
This place is polluted. When it's talking about polluted, we're not talking about river streams and dirt and trash. We're talking about wickedness, homosexuality, drugs, gun wars, all kind of different philosophies. This place is the wickedest place. America is Babylon the Great, right? Read on.
It shall destroy you.
It's going to do what?
It shall destroy you.
America going to get you destroyed. A lot of our people ain't going to make it a hell up out of here. America will destroy you. Read.
Even with a sword destruction.
Even with a sword destruction, right? Read on.
Verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood.
And that's what a lot of y'all do. Y'all walk in the spirit of falsehood because you're walking in Christianity, which is garbage. You walk around saying you're a Christian, you're a Baptist, you're a Pentecostal. You don't know what's going on. Y'all ain't got a clue what's going on. Right? Read on.
Do lie.
They do lie. Go ahead.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
I will prophesy to you of what?
Wine and of strong drink.
Hey, bring that precept, because I got a precept on that wine and strong drink. No, you said you had a precept? Well, give me that wine and strong drink in Isaiah 29 when you get the Isaiah 29. Read that again.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
Right. Now let me get that in Isaiah 29. Let's start at verse 9.
Isaiah 29 and 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry.
Right.
They are drunken, but not with wine.
Y'all drunken. Y'all drunken, but not with wine. What do it mean you drunken, but not with wine? Read on. The Bible going to explain itself. Read on.
They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Right.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Y'all got the spirit of deep sleep on y'all because y'all don't know a damn thing. Right? Read on.
I have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers have he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed.
Right. This book to you is sealed because you got that strong delusion on you. You stagger, but not with strong drink. Read on.
Which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee.
Right.
And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed.
See that? You cannot, because this book is sealed to you. So let's go back to Micah 2 and verse 11.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie,
go ahead.
saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
And that's what the Christian church do. They prophesy you lies. They give y'all delusions. They tell you all you got to do is believe in the Christ and you saved. Once you get saved, you can never lose salvation. They give you delusion. They speak smooth words to you. And this is all set up by the so-called white man. All these black churches is being set up by so-called Esau Edom. He set these churches up. He give you the 501c3s, these tax exempts, just so he can preach falsehood, right? Read on.
He shall even be the prophet of this people.
Right. That's it on that. So let's keep going. Let's go to Maccabees, 2nd Maccabees. Let's go to 2nd Maccabees 6 and let's start at verse 6. Let's go into why people don't know what's going on today. The Bible tell you it's high time to wake up out of sleep, Romans 13 and 11. It's high time for y'all black and Hispanics to wake out of your sleep. Wake up. Read that, brother.
This is the book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days,
right,
or ancient feasts,
which our people don't do. Y'all don't keep the ancient feasts. Y'all keep all the customs of the so-called America. What happened to the ancient feasts in Leviticus chapter 23? We're going to explain what happened. Read on.
or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You can't even profess yourself at all to be a Jew. Look at Nick Cannon. He went on there and professed himself to be a Jew. They cut him off the air. We just made a video with all the celebrities. They know they Israelites. They know they Jews. But why they don't bring it out on this in the media? Why Ice Cube got to do all these hidden statements on IG? Why he just don't come out and say, look, we the Jews. We the real true Jews. We the Israelites. They don't do it. They don't want to lose their fame, their money, and their glory. Because they'll cut you off. Just like they did Nick Cannon. He got his little show. He making millions of dollars for the company. They loving him. But soon as he professed himself to be a Jew, they'll cut you right there. And that's what we just read in Sirach chapter 12. Soon as you get nice with these people, they do things sneakily and they will cut you off. They will cut you off according to the scriptures, right? Yep, so finish reading that, brother. 6 and start that back at 6. Stop at 6.
Verse 6, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right.
Verse 7, and in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Verse 8, moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen.
Right, there went out a decree, go ahead.
By the suggestion of Ptolemy, against the Jews.
Against the Jews, go ahead.
That they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 9, and whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles.
Right, whoever didn't do what the so-called white man told him to do, right? Read on.
Should be put to death.
Shall be what?
Put to death.
Shall be put to death. That's why you don't know nothing now. Because our people was Hellenized, the Hellenistic period, in the Greek captivity. We went into captivity over captivity over the captivity, and captivity here in America. Now you don't know nothing. But the Most High, He gonna put His Spirit on our people in the last days and wake us up. That's why we know what's going on. You think we just know this stuff after history? We research. The Most High put the Spirit on us. He tell us come out of the wicked ways of America. Come out of here, my people. Come back to me, seek my face 10 times harder. Don't seek the ways of America. That's why we see things clearly. The Bible tell you what it say in Sirach. It's like a glass that you got to clean that glass off. Wipe off the fog off that glass. Start seeing things clearly. A lot of y'all ain't gonna make it out of here. A lot of y'all gonna get put to death, right? Hey, let me get a precept on that anyway. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 real quick. Read verse 1.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold.
When they say nevertheless concerning the tokens, who are the tokens? The so-called Israelites. The so-called black and Hispanic, right? Read on.
The day shall come.
The day shall come, go ahead.
That they which dwell upon the earth.
Right, that dwell upon the earth, go ahead.
Shall be taken in a great number.
Right, y'all gonna be taken in a great number. You so-called Israelites. Y'all gonna be taken in a great number. 2/3 of y'all got to go. 2/3 of y'all gotta get put to death.
I got the precept for that.
2/3 of y'all gotta get out of here. Because y'all won't hearken into the voice. That's why when y'all take the juice, we just sit back and just laugh at you. When y'all doing y'all little so-called birthday parties or y'all little cruise or your little vacations or your little graduation, we sit back and laugh at y'all. Because y'all gonna be these people that's gonna get taken off this earth. Right, read on.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
Right, and the way of truth is hidden to y'all. Right, read on.
I got a quick precept, Elder, on what you just said about the 2/3.
Right, hold on, let me finish this. I only got a couple. Go ahead.
And the land shall be barren of faith.
Right, and the land is barren with faith. Because y'all don't have no faith. Y'all don't trust in the faith of the Most High. Right? So bring that out real quick, that precept.
Zechariah 13 and almost read half of 8, half of 7, then jump down to 8.
Stay where you at.
Zechariah 13 and 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd. So we understand, we read earlier and established who the sword is, right? So jumping down to, we'll finish the last part of that verse and then read verse 8. And the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hands upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So referencing what the elder brother with the 2/3, if y'all don't wake up and get on board, that sword will be the result of 2/3 of y'all being cut off.
Right. Right. 2/3 of y'all will not make it up out of here. 2/3 of y'all will die in the land of the living. So let's go back and read verse 2. Where you at?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased.
But iniquity shall be increased. That's what's going on. Iniquity is increasing in this land. Soon as the pandemic, people started, they allowed you to go out. Now all you hear is murder after murder. Mass shooting after mass shooting. 6 died, 8 died, 10 died. Miami, guys jumping out of a truck, shooting up people. Sin or iniquity is increasing, right? Go ahead.
Above that which now thou seest.
Like above. It's more sin now than it was in the days of Noah. And you see what he did in the days of Noah. He destroyed all of them. So what you think he gonna do now? You think you just gonna let everything slide away? Right? Read on.
Or that thou hast heard long ago.
Keep going.
Verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root.
Right, the land that we see now, right? Go ahead.
Shalt thou see wasted suddenly.
So be what?
Wasted suddenly.
Y'all hear what the Bible say? Y'all think we just make this stuff up. When your Christian pastor gonna read these scriptures? Quit feeding you a good song. This place gonna be wasted away. This place is gonna be destroyed. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 4. But if the Most High grant thee to live.
But if he grants you to live, because we don't even know if we gonna make it the hell out of here. The Bible says we scarcely gonna be saved. That means we gonna barely make it our own self. And we studying this word. Right? Read.
Thou shalt see after the third trumpet.
After that third trumpet, go ahead.
That the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night. And the moon thrice in the day.
Right. That's it on that. Now let's go to Baruch real quick. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 24 real quick. I'm gonna just get a couple scriptures out of that.
All right,
Matthew 24. Let's go to Matthew 24 real quick.
which verse you want?
Start at verse 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
And the end of the world. What it means, the end of the world, is not talking about the end of the world. It's talking about the end of the rulership of the so-called Edomites. You can read that in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, right? Read that real quick, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, so we can get the concept.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
That's what Christ was quoting. That's what the disciples want to know. When is the end of this rulership? How do we know? Somebody give me Acts real quick. Acts, what is it? 6 and 1 and 1 and 6, 1 on.
1 and 6.
Right there. Because they knew these things way back then. They were saying the same thing we teaching. Why would they crucify a man that's teaching love, love, love everybody, love, love? They be putting him on the pedestal. This dude said love everybody. Oh, I love you, I love you. Why they say crucify that man?
Yeah.
Because they knew these prophecies, right? Read that in Acts.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
When they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Right, he's going to restore the kingdom or the rulership back to the Israelites. They knew this. The disciples knew this. That's why they kept coming to Christ, asking him certain things. Read that back in Matthew, where they asked him, when did these things shall be in the end of the world?
This is the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. I'll start halfway through. Tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world?
Right, and the end of the world. That's what they knew, the end of the rulership, the end of the kingdom of Edom, right? You got to remember, Christ was in the Roman captivity. And who are the Romans? The so-called Edomites. Right? Read on.
And Yahwahshi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And see that ye shall not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but it is not yet.
Right. Jump to verse 38.
Verse 38. For as in the days of the flood, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying,
right,
giving in marriage, until that day Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right. So the same thing that happened back then in Noah's days, the flood, the same thing gonna happen again in this time. The same thing gonna happen. And you're gonna be out there and get caught up in it. You're gonna be caught up in the days of Noah. You're gonna be part of the destruction. Only 8 people made it out of the flood. 8 people will survive. So when brothers fall out of this truth, there's no sweat off my head. When you don't come to class, there's no sweat off me. When you don't study this Bible, it don't bother me one bit. Because I might be a part of that 8 people that's going to make it off the ship. And a lot of these brothers, they fall out of this truth because these women drag y'all straight out the damn truth. And y'all follow these wicked black women. Right? Read on. 39.
And knew not until the flood came and took them away. So shall it be, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right.
Then shall 2 be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left.
Right.
2 women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken and the other left.
Right.
Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come, or doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
Right. If you watch, if you study, you stay on fire, you don't have nothing to worry about. Right? So let's go from here. Let's go to I'm trying to look for this precept real quick. Bring out a couple precepts while I go find this precept real quick. Bring out that one in Baruch and Jeremiah, the one we brought out earlier. Baruch 3 and 8.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments.
Hey, read that from the top again.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
Right, and the Bible telling us to yet this day, because y'all think Juneteenth day that we ain't in captivity no more. The Bible say this day you still into captivity. You still into slavery. Right? Go ahead, brother.
Where thou hast scattered us.
Right, because we read that earlier. Go ahead.
For a reproach and a curse.
And a curse. We under the curses.
And to be subject to payments.
Right, and we subject to payments. We still paying taxes, right? Go ahead, bro.
According to all the iniquities of our fathers.
We paying for the iniquity of our forefathers, right? That's what we doing, because that's why we over here in the Americas today. We paying for the sins of our forefathers, the iniquity they committed. Right? Go ahead.
Which departed from the Lord our God.
Right. Right. Yep. Bring that one in Jeremiah out.
Done. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, and I'll start from verse 13. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart. So the same way the elders bringing out that you have to be diligently searching for this truth, right? Verse 14. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord. And I will turn away your captivity, showing that we're still in this captivity and this hasn't been turned away from us yet, right? And I will gather you from all the nations and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord. I will bring you again into the place whence I have caused you to be carried away captive. Because he said, the Lord hath raised up prophets in Babylon. And this is talking about Babylon the Great, the spine of Babylon, not the ancient Babylon. This is a twofold prophecy. And then the concept of people thinking we're saved already, right? This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. Actually, I'll jump to verse 7. We were just reading here a second ago. When the Messiah was asked, what is the sign of the end of the world, right? We read this a second ago. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and they shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So it's showing that before the end, right, that all these things are going to come. Now I'm jumping down to verse 13. Remember, subject matter is about the end times, right? But he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Meaning,